7 o'clock, we will call the Tuesday, August 12th meeting of the Select Board to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Announcements tonight. Grafton Recreation Summer Concert Series comes to an end this Thursday night. The Claflin Hill Symphony will play from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Common. The Back to School Used Book Sale will be held at the Grafton Public Library on Saturday, August 23rd from 9 to 1, and on Sunday, August 24th from 11 to 2. Teachers will be offered a 50% discount. Donations of gently used books, DVDs, CDs, games, and puzzles will be accepted during business hours at the library from Monday, August 18th through Friday, August 22nd. Free public Wi-Fi is now available at Mill Villages Park, the Common, and Whitney Park. Funding for this project was provided by a Massachusetts Municipal Fiber Program grant and federal ARPA funding. The intent of this project is to offer publicly accessible internet connection for those utilizing the town's outdoor recreation spaces. To report an outage, please email planning, DEPT, Planning Department, at grafton-ma.gov or call 508-839-5335, extension 1400. Okay, we don't have any public hearings tonight, so we can go right into a motion for our election worker appointment.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Alamo.
I move the board vote to appoint Julie Capoziello and Diane Edwards Perryman as election workers.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Julie Capozzello, she's not included in the note from Amy Berry, and she's actually a warden who we voted in the affirmative back when we did all of the election workers in June.
Mhm.
So I'm just not sure why she's
Sure.
in there.
I can circle back we can skip that and come back on the 26th, and I will clear that up with Amy.
Okay, and she isn't, like, again, there's only one letter from Amy, it's just for the other person, so.
Yep. Let me double check on that for you.
You want to rescind our motions in second?
Want to amend it? And your motion just to
How about
include Diane?
I rescind that motion and then I move the board vote to appoint Diane Edwards Perryman as an election worker.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now we have appointments from the fire chief and the TA.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Alamo.
I move the board vote to affirm the appointment of Sean Benoit, William Silver, and Timothy Haringa as auxiliary firefighters at Station 1.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, now we have a common victular license for Val's Corner Cafe at 79 Worcester Street.
Can I come up there?
Yeah,
Yes,
come on up.
please.
Hi, my name is Valentina Saliu, and I'm going to be the new owner of Val's Corner Cafe. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I'm planning of opening first week of September, and I think I'm submitted my common victual and my permit. I think I have a briefly menu there. What I'm going to do, it's basically going to stay a cafe, homemade sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, lunch, coffee, which I'm working with a local coffee that they ground their own coffees and their own beans, and looking to work with a local bread guy here in the town to make my sandwiches. I'm a previous business owner. I had a business in Worcester, the Original Village Pizza, for 12 years, and I was part owner at the Bagel Inn in Holden for 4 years. So this is my new adventure, and it's going to be strictly me. That's it.
Excellent. Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board or comments?
Congratulations
Thank you.
on opening a small
forward.
business in town. We appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm the board's representative on our Economic Development Commission, so if there's anything our committee can do to support you, if you have questions or if we can help in any way, don't be afraid to reach out. Blake is actually our kind of town side liaison, so it's about, I don't know if it's five or seven on our committee, but they're all Grafton people, and we want to, be somebody you can reach out to if you have
Yep.
any.
Thank you.
So, and good
I'm
luck.
Looking forward to come to the town and meet everyone. Thank you. Any other question from me?
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Used to go there all the time.
You love it even better now.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna resume going there all the time. Get that chicken salad. Well, it's on the menu. I'm a chicken salad guy. Everybody knows
I
that.
like a good chicken salad.
Mr. Chair,
Miss Foley.
I move the board vote to approve a common victular license for Val's Corner Cafe.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You don't have to stick around for the rest of the meeting. You're free to go, although you're welcome to stay if you'd like. Okay, I know I saw her on the Zoom. Up next, we have Jessica Scott from Tufts University for a couple of one-day beer and wine licenses.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having me. We have two student events coming up to celebrate the return of classes to the campus. The first one is the VBMA Welcome Dinner, a smaller group. We've provided the tip certification, and we have a police detail for both of them. The second one is the Vet Fest, where our student clubs come together and show what they do for all of the other incoming students. Again, that's only beer and wine, and we have the tip certification and police details.
Yep, did see all that in there, plus the required insurance information. So, any questions or comments from the board? Okay, take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move the board vote to approve a one-day beer and wine license for Tufts University on Monday, August 18th and Friday, August 22nd, 2025.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Chief, you're up.
Looks like I'll be here for a little while.
Yeah, pick a
Don't feel like
comfortable
you have
spot.
Don't feel like I have to?
No, just
just
wrap it right up.
right up? All right, well, thanks. I'm glad you had me. Thanks for having me for our quarterly update. I know we missed on, supposed to be in July, but I decided to go away for a little bit, so. And then I just didn't have a meeting for a little while, so. To get caught up, we'll jump right into recruitment. I just saw we have 3 new members on Station 1, which actually maxes out our capacity of lockers at Station 1 for first time in a long time. So
How many's that?
we are at actually 26 up there right now.
26.
So anybody that's listening, if you're interested, we're still looking for help in North and South Grafton. So that's always on the thing, but we have a few other people on, one member in the academy right now. One member that recently graduated, 3 members in the academy right now. The 3 new auxiliary that were just onboarded, and we have 4 other applicants in different stages of the hiring process at this time. So it's absolutely crazy. Again, I'm having trouble keeping names straight and, which way they're going and who's in the academy and who graduated and all that. So I think that's a pretty awesome problem to have.
Yeah.
Along with that, we have the opposite end of the spectrum. I've had a few people leave over the last few months. Brian LaRue and Nick Lupo, both retired after 15 and 23 years respectively. They had basically their jobs were taking on a little more responsibility than they had in the past. Brian's an IT director in Shrewsbury, and he couldn't devote the time to us that he would have liked to. He is staying on with us as our to help us out with some of our IT stuff in the department. We have a small group that handles that. And then Nick Lupo owns his own HVAC business, and that has taken off in the last few years. So he's been real busy with that. And we also had 2 resignations of some of our younger firefighters that have been only on for a couple of years, Lizy Sharp and Bruno Camargo. They both moved out of town for other reasons, so, but they were both valuable, and Bruno did a lot of our inspections and stuff while he was here, but we're already moving on, and we've got a couple other people trained up to do the residential inspections and stuff, so that's going pretty good. So the big thing tonight is apparatus. The committee completed specifications to replace engine 2. I know that's later on in the agenda to vote on that contract. That is came in at a price of $1,347,935. Absolutely amazing that they cost this much. This truck we basically took with the new engine 1 that's a few years old now, and copied the spec with a couple of things that we changed around just from that we found, you know, could do a little better with this truck. Staying with the same manufacturer, same service reps and all that, because it's been great over the last few years with them. And of course the other great part is that with the fire trucks these days is that instead of taking a year to build, it's 4 years. So they
1,500 days.
1,500 days. Yeah,
That's incredible.
They make it sound so awful, 1,500 days, but it's
I busted out my calculator. To
yeah.
figure it out.
I'm hoping that things are starting to change in that, and things might get a little faster. Maybe they'll move up, but the way things are going right now and the way they're prepping is just, it's going to be 4 years, and unless somebody cancels an order or something like that, they're just booked out that far. So that's the big numbers tonight. We continue doing numerous hours of training in-house. Recently, the members did an extrication drill over a couple weekends ago for using the rescue truck with the Hearst tools, or Jaws of Life as they're known, and different ways to assist the car accidents and things like that. We've been working with District 7 and the Auburn Training Facility. We've had 2 live fire training days there. And we have 2 more dates scheduled, which is where I'm hoping you guys can come in. And we have this Saturday coming up. I know it's short notice, but I would like to invite you to come by and take a, watch what we're doing. The facility itself is amazing, and it's a great asset that we're able to use it. For a small fee, we basically buy in for a yearly use and have unlimited as long as there's nobody else using it. So.
Wait, what are you doing Saturday? I missed the.
Live burn training. So basically light fires in a building and have the guys put them out. And, go through all, starting with the new people out, and we've been building along as we've been going with the training. And then on October 11th, we'll be going back to the building again. And my hope is that some of you would be willing to gear up and join me inside to see what it's like inside.
Inside what?
The burning building.
Burning building.
They're burning a building, Mark.
The burning building?
This is a fire.
Or
chief,
like a
Mark.
simulated.
It is a
Supposed to run out of
fire-proof building. It's Connex boxes that are insulated and built in a way that they light fires in rooms with pallets and straw, and basically get it really hot, really smoky. But the building's not going to collapse on you, or the floor's not going to fall out.
I don't know what's funnier, just your reaction, or you just looking at me like, yeah, it's real.
And this is,
I'm smiling at you because I want to see you go in it.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
Pick the date.
what's the location
Saturday.
of this?
I'm gonna prove you all wrong.
Dates
It's on
picked.
West Street in Auburn.
West Street. And
Yep.
Auburn. No, wait a
Yeah.
second.
He's got that wrong. Jeez.
What time are you starting Saturday?
We start at 9 o'clock, and we have the building until 3. But we try to do 4 evolutions, and when we wrap up.
So if I got there at 10:30, you're still doing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or 11 or whatever. All right, cool.
So, we, try to run different scenarios and break the groups up into doing different stuff, and then as the day progresses, we'll move on to treating it like it's, we're driving into a fire and jumping off the trucks and all that. So
how many firefighters will be there?
we usually get about 20. We try to break it up between the 4 weekends. Try to keep staff back here to cover the town and have enough to do training and stuff, so.
So is there a bunch of people come, like public is coming, or you just invited a few of us to go and?
Just inviting the board and these two if they wanna come. But, you know. We've
You should
talked
definitely
about
go
that
in
before,
for the
so,
live fire one.
but, as far as, you know, the outside, it's gonna be the same process what we're doing, but I want to get the board familiar with what we're doing and stuff, and then if you wanna jump in the one in October, then we'll suit you up and teach you how to wear an air mask and all that, and you'll be my buddy for about 20 minutes.
Fun.
So,
I like that. I don't think you believe me, but
No, I believe you.
I don't like the look of skepticism, though.
It's not skepticism.
It's something.
It's unbridled hope.
and then when we're done, I'll have applications all filled out, you'll just have to sign.
Oh, just wait a second.
Let's review the waiver.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
I'm
yeah.
too old for that.
I covered a little bit about fire prevention with Captain Cleaner's training a few of the new members on residential stuff. We've also been covering half of the blasting details going on at the UPS site. So that's a daily thing. So every other week, Grafton covers them, and then the opposite week, Shrewsbury covers. So that's working out pretty good. We've had good luck so far getting people to do the details and stuff. So hopefully that will continue. The money's good, so for all the people that have the time during the day, it's a good opportunity for them. Update on grants, we're still waiting to hear from the federal grants, whether any of those are coming through. Haven't heard anything yet. It's been pretty much crickets, but we're still waiting to hear whether we have a micro grant out for 75,000 for turnout gear washers and dryers, and we're also waiting to hear on a regional grant for SCBA that would replace approximately 25 air packs. We were hoping for more, but the funding got capped and stuff for that, so we're hoping that goes through. And then update from for the Mass Pike, other than the brush fires we had on it today. We did sign a contract with the state so that we can bill Mass DOT for emergency responses on the Pike. So that's all inked out, and we've been able to bill, and we've been getting paid. So
What's,
that's
you,
working
you
pretty
do it like an hourly rate?
they do a per call and then an hourly rate after the first hour,
What
depending on how
can
many
you-
trucks you have.
Can you share what that is?
It's $400 for us to go out there,
Yeah,
and then I don't have the breakdown per truck, but a engine is, I believe, $250 an hour. A brush truck is $150 an hour. Depending on the need of, the type of vehicle, I should say.
is it the honor system or somebody has to sign off on the?
We have to send our reports for the calls in with the stuff. So,
Okay, great.
and that's the my update. Any questions, concerns?
If I might, Mr. Chair, just a question. So on the two grants, are you still within like the normal limits of the wait period on those grants, or?
It's usually we start hearing some stuff around now,
Okay.
and there hasn't been anything.
Gotcha.
So,
Yep. Okay. And then just wanted to commend you on the whole Mass Pike thing. 'Cause that's great. Getting some income coming back into the town.
yeah, we're hoping with the other towns that are on it, there's been a little push to try to up the rates. They've been the same since the early '90s, so hoping to get them in more in line with what it actually costs us to be out there and stuff. But we're actually looking at using some of that money to purchase early warning systems. It's a HOS system for the vehicles. So if you're familiar when you're using your Waze or stuff like that, a thing will come up saying emergency vehicle ahead. Well, that's reading a transponder in the trucks. So we're looking to get those. It's a monthly subscription after the initial hardware, but the studies and stats that are coming out are pretty good with drivers moving over earlier and less accidents with places that have them. So we're looking to outfit all the trucks that are regularly go out on the Pike for MVAs. So hopefully, and that getting that money from billing the Pike will cover that cost and increase the safety of our members. So pretty excited about that.
Great.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Problem?
Do we need to discuss the contract for engine two any additionally with him, or is everybody just comfortable with giving that the okay and going no motion?
Just that you said you went to the same truck company, so does that mean that we didn't get other quotes from other manufacturers?
We didn't, based on, we used the Houston Galveston area conference bid, very similar to a state bid type thing. So
Okay.
it takes the guesswork out of it, you know, so
Yeah.
we're taking that, I don't want to say competition out of it, but there's a lot of time savings for us doing that, because we're not reviewing 40 different bids and, or, you know, 10 different
They did
bids
it for
or
you.
Yeah,
whatever,
the
so.
specification must be, it's not like a front end loader on a state bid list, you know, this is a pretty
Yeah.
specialized vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So you must be a lot of changes in the specification. Do they have like a kind of like a boilerplate spec and then you guys tweak it, or how?
Well, we use the spec of our current engine one and just updated stuff that, you know, oh, this manufacturer doesn't build this wheel seal anymore, so we have to use this one.
Right.
That kind of thing, so that's the, you know, being able to use that same spec and just tweaking that one saved us a lot of time, so. But that's, we've used that, the Houston Galveston, bid for, the last four or five trucks.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts to use that Houston Galveston
Yeah,
contract.
it's a big number.
After watching fire apparatus for 30+ years, it absolutely blows my mind. That it's that much, and
And it takes that long.
yeah,
That's the other thing.
Yep.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Elman,
I move the board vote to approve and sign the contract with Seagrave for Fire Engine 2 as presented.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Hoffman?
the only thing that I read that could cause me any pause at all is, is the truck or any of the components, are they imported? Just we're in this sort of crazy tariff era, and
Yeah.
I see in the contract that basically the bid price doesn't include the tariffs, like,
Yes.
do we have any liability there, like? And I'm not asking you how much it might be.
Yeah.
But could there be
I would imagine.
25% additional cost?
I'm not sure. I know in the past when everything was jumping up, and you know we ran into it before, where we had to come back for more money because the price jumped, and we were kind of stuck, or you basically
Yep.
end up back
The-
at the queue. But
Right. You the contract gives you the ability to pass on a truck if you don't like the escalation costs.
Okay.
But then you go back into the queue at the new cost. So it doesn't, it's just, it's the nature of the beast. Last time we did this, that was engine 3, the one?
actually, it was engine one.
Engine 1.
Yeah.
They came back and asked for an extra $88,000 if I remember correctly. We had gone through council at that point to say, well, we don't want to pay it. And she had said, great, you don't have to, but you don't get a fire truck. So, I would 100% guarantee that there's going to be an escalation in that price in the next 4 years. We saw this last time when the initial trade stuff with China happened. It's going to happen again, and that's where we're going to end up.
Okay. My expectations have been set.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I will be back.
Welcome to it.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's
Pretty much anything we're doing right now is all up in the air, and
Yeah.
we're probably going to get those costs passed along to us because that's how that works. If I could, I think this got missed in the agenda. The chief and I wanted to request that the board authorize me to sign, because there will be other ancillary things that come with this truck, and then rather than have to come back to the board, I can just do that. if that's agreeable to the board. That's what we did on engine one,
You know, and
in
the ladder truck.
the ladder truck, yeah.
Mr. Alamo, can you just amend your motion to
So,
authorize? the
Yes,
town
Mr.
administrator?
Chair, so I move the board to vote to approve and sign the contract with Seagrave for Fire Engine 2 as presented and authorize Evan, our town administrator, to sign.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, Fire Chief eval.
Ready, this is the most awkward part of the whole
I
thing.
was gonna say, do you
Oh,
need
boy.
me for this?
If I gotta stay here for it, you gotta stay here.
All right.
Okay, would anybody like to kick us off, with their discussion?
I can start. I can just highlight that the department head that I met with, while they weren't able to comment on all of the areas in terms of, everyone has different types of interactions with you, but certainly the areas that they were able to comment on, they really felt very strongly about your professionalism, how you conduct yourself at calls, and just overall. And it was an esteemed member of our community, in my opinion. So they really had nothing bad to say whatsoever, or nothing even close to bad, I should say. Just all certainly positive, and just the notion, I think it came up in here somewhere, it's just, time in the job, right, to kind of keep moving forward. And then for me, personally, I think tonight you highlighted a couple of the things that you've been doing such a fine job with, the number of firefighters that are coming in, that you're onboarding, the general morale, the way, again, you conduct yourself as well as those in your department conduct themselves under your tutelage is to be commended. And I appreciate not only your professionalism, but your approachability to not only, for me personally, but even community members, I think. And that's an important thing, I think, for all of our community to feel comfortable when you guys show up type thing, and that you will show up, right? And I think that's all I had.
Thank you.
I would like to follow that, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind. Sure. With the department head, the feedback I got was very positive. Felt like you were very well suited for the job. You take an active interest in everybody's well-being, their personal well-being. You don't just sit back at your desk and bark orders. You're an active participant in the work, so a big leader by example. And then everybody feels a great deal of respect for you. At least this individual told me that everyone, I think the word was everyone, has respect for you. The part that I personally appreciate is the way you are maintaining a really good culture over there, a culture of just good camaraderie, kind of an all for one for all type of thing. You see that in places, but you don't see it everywhere. I personally subscribe to that in my career. I try to engender that as well, and so I just have a personal appreciation for it. But certainly from the work that you do, that's also takes on a greater meaning and a greater sense of responsibility. You do that really well. I like to say a lot of really good things about you, but I probably will go too far because I have a reputation for doing that here in this forum. But I like you very much because you worked your way up from the ground up, and you're a very humble servant leader. And I heard something about you. I don't know what it was. There's something you were supposed to go out on a date with your wife, and I don't know, was it your wedding night or something? And then you got a call, and you left to go on the call.
When I proposed to her,
Okay, and then so you get a call.
she knew what she was getting into.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, you can't teach that kind of commitment, and you just have it. So kudos to you, pal. Tip of the cap.
Thank you.
Glad you're our chief.
So I think we covered a lot of it during your contract renewal with Andy and with Matt. Echo everybody's statements. I won't go on and on and on, but I think you walked into a complete 100% on-call culture that had been embedded in this community with 3 different stations, each of those stations having you know, their own probably style and pride in whatever, you know, station they were at, and you were able to walk in and bring those people together and get them to believe in you and accept new recruits and accept your style. And you know, that wasn't an easy task for anybody. So because it was such a deep culture here, so it's and you're a Grafton born and raised, which I think goes a long way too. So, and you worked with a lot of these men and women. So you were the perfect person for it, and you're working really hard. And you know, managing, you said you know you got to keep track of all the names. Managing the staff is probably the toughest part of the job. Keeping them safe, but also making sure that they're, you know, they understand the importance of what they're doing and doing the work. So you know, sometimes you gotta be the bad guy. You know, so it comes with the job.
They know.
Yeah. Well, that's important too. But great job, Chief.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chief, I'll try to make this brief because a lot of my commentary has already been said, but in my discussion with a department member, yeah, came through very clearly that the culture was something that really was universally appreciated by department members. The professionalism, their sense of being supported, and sort of just the respectful professional environment that everybody really appreciated. It also came through pretty clearly that you're a very relatable person, and I've had that kind of almost instant rapport with you since the day we met. You're just a very easy guy to get to know and to get along with, and to speak with, and to have somebody who has such high esteem within the department, but also is relatable in that way, I think is a really special quality that you have that I personally really appreciate. And I guess the last thing that I'll say is just your leadership on calls was something that really stood out for me during the conversation. That people really do look up to you, and that you're always a great example of how to run an operation at an actual call. And so yeah, nothing but great things to say. I've definitely seen just the development of the department in the short time that you've been here, and you know, for being a new fire chief, I'm impressed. So yeah, thanks so much for all the work that you do, and I look forward to seeing sort of how the department evolves in the coming years.
I feel like this was a pretty solid review for you. You get a lot of bullets in each of the positive columns and very few in the identified weaknesses. And I don't think that, you know, in reviewing it, any of the comments either way would be a surprise. I think they're all things that we all, you know, generally expected and stuff. And you know, things like time on task aren't really a weakness. They're gonna come along. You're gonna continue to do this. You know, one of the comments that really stood out to me was that you're communicative and you really use all the resources at your disposal well, in addition to some of the other things that have been said here tonight. You know, communication, I think, is critical and can really be a make or break thing in terms of people's experience and their willingness to stick around, you know, in a call situation in particular. So, you know, I think that's a great strength. And even, you know, a couple of your lower scores on here, which were still above 3, which is, you know, totally satisfactory, I think more reflect on kind of blind spots that the select board has in the day-to-day operations, and even some of the financial discussions that happen in more detail with like the finance committee or something like that. I don't think that they reflect on, you know, the job that you're doing in any way. Like the positives should be the positives there, and you get to own all that stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new contract, and we're happy to have you here.
All right.
Make a big difference.
Thank you. I appreciate all the support from the board along the way, so it really has helped, and Evan will very good to bounce things off of when needed, and you know, some of the things that I've lacked in experience with the management stuff, I've, you know, leaned on them, and we all know Paul with all of his experience, so he's been a great asset to have as the deputy chief. We work really good together, so that's helped along the way. So, but thank you very much, and can't forget all the people in uniform. As I say, though, if it wasn't for them doing the job, I would look pretty bad. So I appreciate them as well. So.
Anything else for the chief tonight, or can we cut him loose?
I'm actually going to stick around anyways for the next couple of things. So.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Chief.
Thanks,
Thanks
Chief.
for being here. Okay, so next up, we can welcome in the Board of Health. I think everybody's on Zoom tonight.
We're here.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. I'm Jen Maynard, the Chair of Board of Health. I will kick us off, and board members, please feel free to chime in. Evan, same. Since we were last here with you all, we've had quite a few changes. So first to highlight, we are a full board. We have 5 members, as you know. Thank you for appointing 2 new members for us recently. We have everyone on Zoom. I'm not sure Andrew was able to join us. Radhika had her first meeting with us last month, so welcome. As you'll probably notice, one of our long-term staples has transitioned off of the board, Mr. Dan Finn. He's still a very engaged community member, and where he can help with transition work, where he's been very involved in many things, he's done a great job with that, and we'll continue to engage with them. So we are very grateful for his many years of service, commitment to community, and of course to Andrew and Radhika for joining us. We have 3 physicians and medical physicians and 1 PhD on our board. And so we are pretty excited about the current composition of our team. Everybody has slightly different backgrounds to, ask questions in a different way. And a variety of longevity here in town. So that's our composition update, even though I think you knew of those things, but we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge those changes. The bigger changes really have started. Last time we spoke, we were talking about how things were going well, better than past history with the alliance that we worked with for supporting the various things. Nancy's in the office, but the majority of our inspections and community engagement was through the alliance. As of July 1st, we have begun transitioning to a new alliance that is being brought together by Grafton, Shrewsbury, and West Boylston. At some point, Millbury might join us, but this is a new alliance. A lot of that came from, and Evan was very engaged, obviously, with this decision and discussion, in that after our last meeting, there were quite a few pretty high-level staff transitions happening within the Worcester Alliance. And actually, very recently, the commissioner has announced her retirement as well. So while the team was on the ground doing a really wonderful job, there were some pretty big things happening without feedback necessarily from the community. So my understanding is that there had been some conversations in the past about this. So as of July 1st, we're in this new compact. I'm going to pause before we talk about sort of where we are with some of the workflows and see if there's any questions, or any board members want to, Grafton Board of Health members want to chime in with anything I may have left out so far. Or Evan, since you're there.
Any questions from anybody here?
I think Jennifer, you did a great job covering it. I know we're in a lot of tumultuous time right now, and learning who new people are, and it seems every day, even though I've been involved in it, I open my email and there's somebody else that I'm trying to get up to speed on. And right now we've been working on our tobacco inspector, so we should be able to get that off the ground. I think it's been a good transition. I know it's not without headaches, but it seems to be going pretty well. So, and it wouldn't happen without all of you and everything that you do as volunteers. So I appreciate that partnership very much.
Thank you. So I'll give just a little detail for you all, just so you can kind of get a sense of how the community is still being supported, even though we are in sort of a transition phase. And I will say, Amelia and folks that we worked with on the Alliance, anytime something pops up that might not have been on the radar, they're very good about still responding and making sure Nancy gets looped in, and we identify somebody to sort of fill that hole temporarily. So each of the board members have been really engaged in raising their hand to be temporary representatives at meetings that we need to be present at. There's a few sort of listservs so that we can stay on top of testing happening in the area with West Nile, Triple E, flu, and RSV and COVID, all those types of things, so that we don't miss the opportunity to, one, put those things on our website and keep the community informed, as well as just so we know the status from the public health perspective. So we, as board members, have signed on to fill those gaps temporarily, and as the Alliance continues to form, some of those things will start to transition over. Nancy's been very busy, making sure that, again, as Evan said, we are also, since we don't sit in the office every day, are updated on who's coming in. They had, while we were in sort of that transition phase, obviously there's some things that kind of can't wait. So Phil Legier, who's pretty well known to Grafton, was assisting with any Title V's that were coming in, and there was some support with food inspections. I believe they have identified a director for the role. Essentially, there will be 5 members of their team that will sit and support all 3 of our communities. I believe one of those staff members is coming to our meeting tomorrow. And then we're also engaging further with the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission to make sure, again, they're supporting us through the process, just like, long before my time on the board, when the first alliance was formed. They'll help us with that. As Evan said, tomorrow we do have the tobacco inspection and anything that is new flowing through for potential changes to those regulations. We're going to appoint that entity tomorrow to support us with that. And the expectation will be, just like with our last alliance, these folks will join us at our meetings to keep us apprised of what's happening and what decisions we need to make as a community. And then similarly, this alliance, we had some, as all the communities coming together, I think more regular cadence of that meeting across the board with the 3 communities to talk about how the new alliance is going. We were pretty clear in sort of scoping this out that we really expected that all of the really good things we've been able to accomplish in the last few years, like blood pressure clinics, a little bit more community outreach, vaccine clinics, we wanted to make sure that we retained and continue to add to those things. They're real value add, especially for the senior center. Just this week, Nancy had outreach about vaccine clinics, people looking for follow-up, and we have contacts at a local pharmacy that supports with that. So those things are all in flight and not stopping. If we have things that, kind of have to be on pause, we'll make sure that people know when they're coming. So I think, the big thing for us was, again, making sure that we had the same level of engagement, if not more, with the Alliance, and the things that need that really need coverage, like getting out to the community for inspections, and getting those reports so that we don't miss out, are all covered, and their team is actively, we're building and flying at the same time. Is that the phrase? But it seems to be working. As I said, it's been busy. Some of those things. So we have a few subgroups we talked about last time. Bill is on the opioid committee, and actually our community, it was identified in the kind of new alliance. I don't know if we have a fancy name yet. We'll come up with one. Had identified that some of Grafton's practices was a bit more ahead than some of the other communities. So they're probably going to model after that. And then we have been working also on AED and ambulance response times. The chief has been super supportive in that as well. some of those have been a little bit on pause just in the summer where there's a lot of things happening, but Nancy and I were just coordinating today that come September, we'll have a little bit more space to start to reschedule some of those meetings and get some proposals to Evan, especially as we're identifying, any funding streams and things that we need to accomplish if it's outside of what the Alliance would support us with. So there's a lot happening, but we, as Evan said, we want to remain positive and supportive so that this gets built the way all three communities want it to look.
Excellent. And do you feel like you're getting good engagement and feedback from the other two communities at this point? It's pretty reciprocal.
I think so. I know Nancy is engaged when, whenever we have a question, I'm like, we just need to reach out to whoever you have in Shrewsbury. And then there's a meeting coming up. I think, is it this week, folks? Remind me. I know there's one I couldn't attend.
Tomorrow.
Thank you. That's tomorrow. So we're trying to make sure that we always have at least somebody there. And it seems like, there was quite a few notes from the most recent meetings. So it sounds like people are asking questions and all pretty invested. As I mentioned, the question has been asked about whether or not Millbury will join us. I think they want to see like if we can model the way and demonstrate the things that maybe their community struggled with as well. So so far, so good. I don't know that we've had anything that there was contention on just yet, but we'll let you know if we identify things that don't quite work.
We do love some drama.
Oh yeah, there's enough of that in the world.
Any questions or comments from anybody on the board?
I'll just say thank you for all your hard work, all of you. I'm sure it's an enormous task to go through this transition, and so thank you all for stepping up and doing extra things to make it as smooth as possible for the community. And Nancy, I mean, she's like, she's the heart and soul there, right? She's been there forever, and she's been through a lot. So I'm glad that it seems like you guys are really supporting her because she's such a big part of what goes on in that office, as you all know. One question. So what do you see the challenges over, say, the next 90 days to get, I guess, through the complete transition and get it all, maybe you're there already, but what do you see as the challenges over the next few months?
I'll start with, they don't have every staff member on board yet. So of course, it's going to be important to kind of understand those folks' backgrounds and if they've kind of worked in this type of relationship. So I imagine we're going to be, one, they're going to be learning our community and the other communities, and really, again, just trying to support those new folks as well so that they're successful in their roles. I'm sure there's going to be those hiccups. And again, not expecting them to sort of start on day one and have everything copy and paste that we had before. So, we'll have to figure out an appropriate prioritization while also setting, accountable and realistic expectations that it's not like just kind of kicked down. They had outlined in one of their meetings about, year one looking like this and year two. And I think we'll also want to acknowledge that we might have some really good policies and procedures that we want to leverage from our community. Like, I don't know if everybody's started some of the same work on ambulance and AEDs and first aid and opioid. As we said, we've already heard that not everybody was necessarily leveraging those things. So again, we also, let's learn from best practices from other folks as well as our own versus just, let's start everything new. There are certainly things we can leverage from our time with Worcester as well.
Thank you.
Good question. Anybody else?
Just thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really seems like everybody's got this well at hand, and we're grateful that you are still there and qualified to do this. Unless there's anything from Evan, I think we can just wrap and let you know that if there's anything you need from us, any way we can be of assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Great. Thank you all. Appreciate your support.
Hang on,
It's okay. I just might want to hop on. So thank you for mentioning Dan. And I just want to also commend him on his many years of service to our town, certainly through the Board of Health and elsewhere. So to Mr. Finn, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. Fiona, welcome.
Hello.
We are moving on to consider the vote to approve the Grafton Common traffic study. I think we're all pretty much up to speed with this. The final draft was sent to us all for review. Fiona, I mean, unless you have any forward, I guess, are there any questions or concerns with the final draft that the board had when they reviewed it that we need Fiona to address?
I would just ask, are there any changes, kind of highlight anything big or from the last time we
No.
went through it?
There really wasn't any significant changes that came out of that 2-week internal comment period. Most of the comments that we received were either extremely minor, kind of administrative, but most were supportive of the plan. We did get a comment from the chief just reiterating that we need to bear in mind turning radius and those types of logistics when we start implementation. That was accounted for in the report by Stan Tech in the implementation notes. So that was kind of a logistical piece, but other than that, everyone again, was generally supportive. And this was, as most board members know, because all of you have been incredibly engaged throughout this entire process, and I'd like to thank you for that. This was a culmination of feedback that we had really been gathering since January, but really the technical details that we ironed down at the 2 July select board meetings and then that 2-week internal comment period. So, with that being said, if the board does have any requested changes, Stan Tech did offer to do one more round of edits and then produce, a final report. They won't be coming back per se, but I did say that I would relay any kind of final concerns this evening, and then they said they would turn those around. So do feel free to call out anything that you are that is raising a red flag. But all in all, it was a well received plan, and we're looking forward to the next phase.
Great, thanks.
Anybody else? Thank you for, I guess, opening that door. I did, I guess, want to just apologize to the chief and probably the DPW, and that we all got very excited and we're like, yes, we should do all these things right away, all the low-hanging fruit. And in hindsight, maybe should have, had a quick little touch base with them to make sure they were on board with everything as well, or had the opportunity to discuss concerns with us real time. So, didn't intend to step on anybody's toes or anything with that. Sometimes how the way things go.
I often step on Paul's toes. He's used to it.
Okay, if everybody's good, then we can take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move the board vote to approve the Grafton Common traffic study as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you for being here, Fiona, and hanging out, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Wonderful. I just thank you all again. I really do appreciate your ongoing support throughout this process. Every single one of you have made a point to stay engaged, go to the events, continue to stay, up to speed. And I just really appreciate getting the support from the board as always. So thank you again.
You are welcome. Okay, Municipal Solid Waste Committee charge. This is something that Evan, we had a couple questions for Evan last time through. If I recall correctly, the main concern was just making sure we had the membership right, that we didn't need any additional staff delegations or anything like that. But I'll turn it over to Evan to kind of top line us through.
Yeah, so I believe one of the questions was that I wasn't listed on here. I just assumed that I was going to be the one municipal staff member. This is kind of how it goes. But I fully intend that one of those positions is me, and that we're doing the work. I also, in writing this, and I generally don't do this, insert myself in there in case the board has a different vision than what I'm thinking in my head. And if you want to, I don't know, appoint somebody else like William or just anybody else. No, I'm just kidding. But no, you can rest assured I'm one of those slots if that's what the board prefers. What was the other question? Do you remember?
I think those. It was basically that confirming that you would be the delegate or who you wanted to be the delegate, and were there any other departmental members that we felt should be, like DPW is assigned
Right.
to waste
Thank you,
reduction.
Andy. We did discuss that immediately after that meeting. I have just assumed that what we're looking for in this board or committee is the residents who are directly impacted by using the trash service. And that any and all staff members that we need to be a part of the process will be pulled in at the times that they're necessary. So I did write in here that, liaises with the town administrator's office, because I assume that all four of us in our office suite are going to be pretty heavily involved in this. But as we need to pull DPW in or Board of Health or whoever, I think we would just do that as we went, is how I envision that working.
Any additional questions or feedback?
Just the effective update needs to be
Yeah.
Right.
changed.
The what?
The very last line about approved and adopted.
Oh yeah, that's because I copied this from something else.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's I missed that.
No, looks good.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Alamo.
I move the board vote to approve and sign the Municipal Solid Waste Committee charge as presented, along with an amendment to the date, the effective date.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
I remember now. I copied and pasted that it was 5 in favor and 0 opposed. Now I remember that. Yeah.
Now
It
you
was
just
on
gotta
there
change
last
the date.
time.
Yeah, it
too.
was. Yeah. No, I just took the other charge and did everything above it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
me again.
You again for discussion of potential land acquisition at 324 Providence Road.
Yep. So we've entered into discussions with a local owner of some property, as well as the Grafton Land Trust. Actually, Grafton Land Trust and Rob Aberg brought this to our attention as a potentially good purchase for the town of Grafton. The Land Trust would be interested in it, but it is a little bit larger of an acquisition than they're able to do at this time. So it is 3 parcels, 324 Providence Road. That's 1.36 acres. That's the piece that you see on the north there that touches Providence Road. Just south of that is 334 Providence Road rear. That is 19.11 acres. And then south of that is another parcel that is 380 Providence Road rear, which is 21 acres. The reasons that this land is interesting to us is that it borders both the sewer treatment plant and Fairview Cemetery. It also has quite a bit of frontage along the Blackstone River, in fact on both sides of it. And if you look up on the south bank, let's call it, of the Blackstone, you'll see a little V at the top of that property line. That property is Grafton Land Trust, so we would be connecting to their property as well. And I think this property has some pretty good potential to look for some nice conservation land as well as possibly some athletic fields. We'd have to do some more research down the road, but it is fairly flat, and the 334 parcel is seemingly dry from the wetland study that we have in our GIS system. So what I would be looking for from the board tonight is agreement to move forward to create a purchase and sale. The board obviously is not bound to the purchase and sale. This is just an approval to pursue this. The purchase and sale would be contingent upon an appraisal, as well as the appropriate funding, and from town meeting. So my intent, and I have not spoken to anybody on community preservation, but my intent would be to go to them subsequent to the board saying, yes, we're interested, move forward. Then I think that's the natural next step, would be to have our council working on the PNS and then bring this to the attention of CPC so that we could gauge their interest in it as well. So happy to answer any questions that I can. It is early days in the process, but
Couple things, Andy.
Sure. Yeah. Please.
So the frontage, that's on Providence Road, that bigger piece, that's like very, very steep there, is that correct?
correct. Yep.
Right, so access to the site, is it gonna be?
Access to the site would require some. It's not inaccessible, but there'd be some work if that was going to be the main egress.
Okay. And I know that, CPC is not CPC, but the,
Conservation.
conservation, well, the Grafton Land Trust, I know, has
Yep.
looked at it, right?
Yep.
And they said, well, one of the members told me this, like, it's, most of that is in the floodplain.
Right.
So I don't know what that means as far as, so I would hope that we would do like, conservation, wetland delineation,
Right.
flagging or whatever, so we know exactly how much is usable. I mean, it's great to protect it, but if we could get some fields out of there, or, like you said, the cemetery, sewer department, I mean, there's municipal facilities that, we could, be great to protect and maybe expand if
Yep.
necessary, but how much of that is usable, I think, is really the big question, right?
Yeah.
So, and then
what it appraises
access.
for.
Huh?
And what it appraises for.
Right, exactly. So after the P&Fs, then we could go in and do our due diligence
Correct.
and see
Yeah.
if it's really, there's value to it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That would be the intent. It's a little chicken or the egg, and I've been trying to work through that for the last week and a half, just on how we go about this. I'm most familiar with doing this process through a 61A right of first refusal and how that
Right.
works.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this stuff normally happens.
Right.
This is happening a little bit different, is that this is not in 61. So I did have to come up to be perfectly honest with the board, I had to come up to speed on that, and just kind of work through the logistics. So that would be the path forward, would be to get approval to pursue the purchase and sale, but the purchase and sale has to have contingencies on it, which is based on approval, the appraisal, and anything else that we want to put in there, i.e., wetland delineation or, future use.
Yeah.
Review.
Is that floodplain zone? I don't know, I'm not like up to speed on what that means. I know that was an issue for the Grafton Land Trust, but if it is in the floodplain, is it just totally restricted area or, for fields or anything?
Right, and a lot of it depends, because if you look at the field down on Riverview, like, it doesn't get much more floodplain than that. It's like a 2-foot rise to run over that bank. So there are ways to do it, and so my first inclination was that, while we're doing the appraisal, we're going to look and see where we be restricted, because that's going to impact the appraisal too. Because if the entire thing is floodplain and you can't do anything with it, then the value of that is greatly diminished beyond. And I'm not saying that it's not of value, but if it's only conservation land, and again, only meaning that's the only use.
Yeah, it's a different use.
Then the value is diminished as far as what you could get in the open market. So, I think all of that comes as part of that PNS process that says, yep, we're interested in, and don't sell it to anybody else. We're going to move through the process.
Yeah. Need a motion to that?
I would like a motion.
If everybody else is.
I move that we empower Evan Broussard to move towards a purchase and sale relative
Yep.
to 324 Providence Road.
Perfect.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion?
Yeah, just quickly, Mr. Chair. Is it the Rita Martin Preserve? You said it was next to the V, to sort of the
Yeah. Up.
left there?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I definitely want to do a site walk now that I'm looking at this picture. One of the issues with Rita Martin, it's a beautiful property. And especially there's a part of the trail that goes right along the river there. But there's really no good parking for it.
Right.
So if we could somehow make some parking off of Providence Road to get in there, and maybe even a little bridge, because it's not a huge section of river. I definitely could see the value of connecting this all together, and if you could provide some parking, it could, because I don't think a lot of people use Rita Martin, because it's just tough to get to.
So I was talking about that, and we do own 60 Depot Street, which is right across from that.
Yeah.
And there is some potential that we could create a couple of, maybe a handful of parking spots there, as far as to do that, access that one side of the river. And then if we had trails on the other side, then you would access that either from Fairview. You can see that route that comes in off of Providence Road.
Yep.
Where we could potentially create some parking on that side for nature access, and then the northernmost parcel, 324. It is a little steep, but not insurmountably steep. So maybe that's where we could provide access as well.
Got it. It's a beautiful spot.
I gotta go in there. I've never been in there, but that's the whole. I mean, what if the Blackstone Valley Corridor Commission would be interested in help, partnering on some parking or access or something?
It's got great potential, kind of
does.
all the way around.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Yeah,
It's
worth,
an exciting process to
doing a
pursue.
due diligence on it.
Sure.
Yeah, and I just sort of want to thank Rob Aberg and the trust for always keeping their eye on the ball for new properties and opportunities, and I have a lot of respect for the work that they do. So
Absolutely.
that's it for me.
Yeah, it checks a few of the boxes that we've talked about, through the master plan process and as well. So it does seem definitely good to kick the tires on this one. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Next, Ask Me Anything.
Is this me or you?
Who did the
Well, we
last one?
Whose
we
fault
totally
is this?
dropped the ball. We haven't done anything. So
They're really pressing us now in public.
Oh, you guys didn't do the one that we already.
Publicly, so it's time to make a call
Oh,
here.
then I'm not up.
Fair call, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Well, so no, and
did ours, that's
we mentioned this a while back, and you guys were going to try and work through it, which is fine.
Yep.
If
We're moving
the
on to
rest
the
of the
next
board
people.
wants to grant you
Wow.
the opportunity to host the next one, great. If somebody else wanted to start, I just wanted to keep it equitable.
Yep, I love it. Yep. I still want to try it, but I feel like we're getting fired here.
yeah,
No,
it's all
you're
right.
not.
The public outcry for this has been like
Tens of people have reached out.
Maybe it's the two that have been doing it.
whatever the wish of the board is. We have
So I'm interested in doing one, but I don't want to step on your toes. So if you guys want to do this and want to get it scheduled at some time, I'm fine with that.
Let's do it September 10th. It's after Labor Day. The
Well,
whole
you
Labor
guys-
Day weekend. It's a Wednesday.
I'm at a conference in Springfield.
Let's do it September 7th. Are you in it for how long?
You guys can deliberate on that.
Yeah, it
this
sounds
other-
Well, I feel like if we don't
Hey,
do
you guys
this,
brought it up.
it's on the
I'm
agenda.
good either way, Matt. I mean, my feelings aren't going to get hurt
We'll accept
because we really didn't get it done. So I totally.
September 17th, you and me.
we'll accept you two with the provision that we'll give you like a week to figure it out.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Select
the
board
rest.
reports. Anybody got anything they want to talk about?
I can start. I went to my first return open space and recreation committee meeting, maybe last week or the week before, and just trying to get back up to speed on what they've been doing over the last year. Things have slowed down since I was on the committee because we kind of accomplished a number of the things that we set out to. But one of the things that was discussed that might be pertinent to our discussion relative to this 324 Providence Road was a parcel up off of Millbury Street. No, not Millbury.
Milford.
Thank you, Milford Road.
27 Milford Road.
That one. And my able assistant over here. But 27 Milford, and that there was room back there potential fields, which has been, I mean, I was the chair of the Fields Coalition 20 years ago when we came up with Riverview and built that. So obviously we've been crying out for fields for a long time. And that discussion led to, I believe the memo came to everybody from the chair of our committee relative to that parcel, as well as the 2 or 3 at High Point, that we would like actually for that to go into a conservation restriction. The issue at 27 Milford is access, and it's
steep.
yeah, it's kind of crazy back there. So anyways, that's the brunt, I guess, of what we discussed at that meeting, and we're going to meet every other month now as a cadence, where previously we were doing it every month. And then I attended the police, the 3 new
pinning
the officers that were pinned, recently, and that was a nice event to be there for, and big show of officers that turned out to support them and their families, and just always nice to see, similar to what's going on in our fire department, the camaraderie and respect and professionalism of that department. And then I did go to the National Night Out as well as the Indian Independence Day just this weekend. So, but other people were there too. So, thanks. That's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, I guess just a quick update.
I did.
So the Affordable Housing Trust is meeting this week. The main topic that's sort of in discussion is we're going to be hosting a community housing forum, probably September, October timeframe. So stay tuned on that. I think that is I think this is the first time we will have done that, and that's been on the housing production plan for some time. So it's nice to see them moving forward with some sort of public engagement and communications and whatnot. And then I also went to the National Night Out, which just gets better and better each year. So it was a lot of fun, and it was very good to see everybody there. So that's all I got.
Yeah, National Night Out was good. I hung out at the EDC town table for a bit. Other than that, and it was nice. It wasn't 100 degrees this year. Usually it's a really hot night, so it was bearable, and a lot of town folks there, a lot of town employees there, which is great to see. Other than that, I think Mark updated the board on the Tufts pilot at the last meeting. So it's been we've had one meeting, and it was very good. And we spent a lot of time talking about Discovery Drive. So we're putting a team together between the Tufts group and us, and we brought Craig Blaze in from the WBDC, who this is his wheelhouse. He was very involved with the Centec Park project, and him and his deputy executive director, assistant executive director, who's still there, was very engaged with Centec. So there's a lot of good knowledge and history there. So Evan's in the process of setting up a meeting to meet with the Tufts team and bring Craig in and meet Evan and Mark and try and maybe even Fiona, right, and continue the discussion on approaching potentially DCAM to kind of restructure how that deal was set up, because that's one of the major hurdles in getting this land open for development. So we'll keep the board posted. It's it's going to take a little bit, but I think the pieces are in place to take a good run at it.
Did you guys finalize the numbers with them, or will
We're
we see that?
going to be putting forth a draft in the coming, say, 2 weeks.
Okay. Great.
So, and we'll share that with everybody, and but it was a great meeting, to be honest with you. It was very advantageous for, I think, both Tufts and the town. So, nice.
Yeah, the real potential is in the development of the property, and we were there for the pilot, which I think we got something good to bring to the group. But we get to spend a lot of time talking about that, which was really what we were looking to do, I think.
Yeah, it's great.
And I think I mentioned this when you guys weren't here, just to bring you two up to speed. It was a very encouraging, good faith gesture on their part with what they proposed to us.
Yeah, it's a totally new team in there, different attitude, I think, and approach. So which is good.
Yeah.
Well, they seem to be thriving there, so, you know, they're
Yeah.
continuing to develop and grow and.
Yep.
So, it's good.
Yeah, the dean, I got to meet the dean, and he lives in town, which is great. He's been on board for a couple years now, 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think this is his third year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dean Cribb.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be longer than that. I think he started around the same time as I did, so maybe 4 years, because he's the only dean I've worked with.
Yeah.
But always been very welcoming and very supportive of what the town is trying to accomplish, and a really nice person.
Yeah, and the other members of the team who are, you know, are heavily involved with the Medford Somerville campus, and they're pretty savvy folks, some political
Good.
background. So I think, you know, they're going to play a big role in helping this thing move forward.
Exciting.
Did the water, did we get water in there?
Water
It's
main
all
has
done?
been completed. Yep.
Okay. Did that
Yep.
come up at all? Like that was something the town did?
No, when we were negotiating, I kept that in my pocket just in case.
Okay.
No, but it was again another mutually beneficial project. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that got us some goodwill with Tufts, but also, you know, just showed our continued partnership. So
For me, yeah, same. Got to go to National Night Out. I learned that state police helicopters do have sirens. I didn't know that was actually a thing. So that was pretty neat. We got a couple low hanging flyovers. But yeah, thank you to GCTV for their live coverage again. It's always fun to go and talk with them. And also wanted to thank Lieutenant Crosby for offering all of us spots in the dunk tank, and also for providing some warm water to make the experience that much more enjoyable. As Anne-Marie mentioned, the two of us were able to attend the Indiana Independence Day celebration this past Sunday here at the Municipal Center. I think the big takeaway, both organizations who help organize this, the India Association of Greater Boston and the Blackstone Valley India Society, which is much more local here in Grafton, truly sincerely appreciate the effort that's put forth by the town. They reiterated several times that we're an anchor town. We were one of the few in the Commonwealth that agreed to start hosting these celebrations and the flag flying when they kicked off 6 years ago. So as such, we were presented with the AAGB's Flag of Friendship Award, which was pretty neat. And then I guess just to cap it, the India Independence Day is actually coming up this Friday, the 15th, and the State House will be raising their flag for the first time this year too. So that was a bit momentous for them. But yeah, it was to me, touching to hear that even the two reps that drove out from the Boston area, the towns that they live in do not partake in this celebration. So it really means a lot that our community embraces the diversity the way that it does. So thank you all. That's it for me. TA report.
sure. All right, here we go. Okay, so Millbury Street is finishing up in the next 2 weeks. It's really just top coat on the sidewalk, but if you have a chance to go down there, it has really come along. It looks great. They got a lot of the line painting done. They are aware that that school starts on the 8th, I believe it is, of September, or 28th.
I think it's
27.
before that.
Before Labor Day.
Yeah.
They're aware of when it starts.
Way to go there.
They are. That's what.
Wow.
That's the
worry
important
about
part
it.
is
They're
they know
aware.
that they got to be done before that happens. And so they thought they're projected hopefully to be done this week. But timetables shift. So next week at the latest, but it does look really good. It seems like they were resolved. I'd say 99% of the problems that folks brought to our attention, with the mailboxes and the telephone poles. There are a couple poles that were just not able to be moved because of how National Grid lays out their lines. But we kind of see that throughout the Commonwealth, that these little conflicts exist. But I think they did a great job. It looks really nice.
And I think, unfortunately, Craig stepped away, but they did do that part of the parking, of the driveway into the elementary.
They
school.
did, yes. They did about 150 feet
Yep.
into the school, which was nice. A good add there. North Street sidewalk is complete. If you have a chance to go check that out, it really came out nice. It's a good looking sidewalk. I always say
It really stands out. You know,
it really
it's
does.
very visible.
It's a beaut.
And while we
It's
were
a
on North
beaut.
Street, seeing the construction work start over at 95
Yeah.
is really nice too.
Yeah. All right, go delete that out of my update. You know, Andy's doing an update now.
Can do.
No, so it does. It's all coming together very nicely. So Route 140 paving is pretty much complete. It looks like they have some ancillary stuff to pick up. They need to come back and obviously line the process. There is some lining out there currently, but that's all temporary lining. So they'll come back and do the full boat. And we're still waiting on our precast culvert for Fitzpatrick Bridge. In the queue, as they say. Yeah, that's laggy tonight, huh? Okay. The big news for George Hill Road is that we received our comments back yesterday afternoon from Army Corps of Engineers. That's what we've been waiting for quite some time. They're requesting to receive a fee in lieu of wetlands replication. It's something that apparently Army Corps does. And then they take that fee and they use it for wetlands creation in other areas. We did respond back to Army Corps because we have to do that wetlands replication whether they want us to or not, because it's a local regulation in the town of Grafton. So we're disputing the fee, and or at least prorate the fee, or however this needs to work. But we also are
Give us a friend discount.
well, we're still doing the work. We don't want to pay you for not doing the work and then do it anyways.
Yeah.
So we're going back and forth on that. Our engineers at VHB felt that they should be able to resolve that by Friday of this week, and then there was a couple other minor changes in the plan, but nothing that would hinder us or cause us any delay. So we're excited to finally be over that hurdle, and we can move that project forward. So
What's the new projected bid date?
I will have that for you shortly.
Thank you.
I did, like I said, we got the information yesterday afternoon, so I just want to make sure that that VHB gives us a adequate timeline to change whatever they need to change in the plan, even though it's minor. I don't know what that looks like yet. Mr. Canoyer and I did have a call this afternoon, but he was on his way back from the wildfires on the turnpike, so I did not get all the information that may be available, so I will clean that up. I did reach out to one of the residents on George Hill Road that handles their private or their neighborhood social media page, so he'll push that information out, and we'll push it out as well as soon as we get the timeline. So
Thank you.
working with him. Okay. Paving update. Beginning next week, we should be doing final pave on Snow Road, Nelson Street, Windle Ave, and then small sections of North Main Street and Westboro Road. Go ahead. The rec, we continue to move forward. The big kind of, I'd say hurdle, I guess, is that we parted ways with our owner's project manager. We are rebidding for an OPM with a target of 8/22 for that bid to be live. Otherwise, we just met this morning. Continue to just move forward the parts that we can move forward while we secure this new OPM. All right. The big updates on this page are 95 North Street, which Andy already told you all about. Won't go into any more detail on that. We are working right now on the parking area as well as the ADA path. So that's very exciting to see that coming. It'll be nice to see that path completed. We also broke ground this week on the fitness court. So if you come up here on the side, the hillside of the of the building where the senior center is. You'll see two pads being dug, as well as a walkway around the tree. We are maintaining that tree. And yeah, hopefully within the next couple of weeks we're dug and start pouring. And then we can move on to installation of the actual equipment on there. And we did have a meeting with the National Fitness Campaign and started talking about trying to project out a timeline so that we can do our grand opening. And they come out with Blue Cross and their representatives, and we do a big unveiling. So
Finally gonna get to cut a ribbon?
we'll get you a ribbon if you want a ribbon. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
The big scissors.
Yeah, we have not gone out to bid for installation yet, correct?
Not yet.
This is following our plan. Our plan was to award the concrete, get somebody in place, go out to bid. So I just didn't remember if we did it last week or if we're still working on it. Okay, so as you might have seen online, we did have our dementia-friendly Grafton training for all of our staff. We did a staff meeting prior to that, and then we did a 1-hour training to learn how to better support folks that are suffering from memory issues. And it was a very, I think, well-received training. Our staff did a great job. And just very well received. So Shannon will be coming in at an upcoming meeting to talk more specifically about what this means for Grafton. But I will say this has been one of the goals for the select board, I think, since we did our first goals when I got here. And it's been one of my personal goals. So I appreciate Helen, who you see in the center of the picture holding the sign, as well as Shannon and all the folks that partnered with her on outreach and everything else to get us across the finish line and get this distinction. So that's really cool. And Mark, you'll notice that Timber also attended the training. He's in the front row there. He was a big hit with the staff meeting. So
Grafton's favorite dog.
And then just lastly, I want to give a shout out to Chief Minardi. So someone had posted a comment on all things Grafton, I think, or somewhere on Facebook, doesn't really matter. But just giving Grafton Police a shout out that they watched somebody pull over and help a young stranded motorist push his car out of the road. And I think it was actually Andy that first commented that's an officer, but it's also the chief of police in Grafton who pulled over and helped this guy push his car out of the road. So I just wanted to give Chief Minardi a shout out for that. That's pretty cool and I think indicative of the type of guy that he is. So very nice. And that's all I have.
I mentioned that to him at National Night Out, and in typical Chief fashion, he so humbly shrugged it off. He's like, "It took me 3 minutes. I don't know." He was surprised somebody got a photo of him in the act of doing it. But yeah, just awesome.
Yeah. I told him that, Andy called me and said, "Who's the shortest officer we have?" Because I don't know who this is in the picture. No, I'm just kidding. About the call part, anyways.
Yeah, thanks for the confidence.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I had. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Any correspondence anybody wishes to discuss?
I have one piece. There is an insurance claim in there that has nothing to do with the select board. It just got put in the wrong folder.
That was the
And
only
scanned.
question I had.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the select board. Apparently, I think it has to do, if my memory serves me correctly, with the school department and a minor motor vehicle incident that we had. Normally, that would not come to the board. We just take care of that. But yep.
Can I just ask a quick question? Has there been any response to the folks down on East Street?
So that's a great question. So the folks on East Street don't sign their letters, so there's no way to reach out to them directly.
Okay.
However, I will say that it is an issue that we know about and we've had ongoing contact with over the years, and we continue to monitor, reach out, and make and try to assist the residents and enforce whenever possible. Not all of it is enforceable
Sure.
with Grafton's current bylaws.
Is 57 the property with the garage?
Nope.
It's not.
Up the street.
It's up. Okay, I
That's
know which
it.
it is. Got
Yep.
it. Okay.
So, I appreciate the residents reaching out. I think I'm not saying that this is your intent in any way. We try to deal with those type of things kind of in the background,
Sure.
so that we don't shame the residents who live there. But also, I think it's great that we acknowledge that residents did reach out to us and bring something forward, and we are actively working on it.
Great. Yeah. Okay. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. No resignations tonight. Any public comment?
Last but not least.
Thanks for sticking it out. We do limit public comment to 2 to 3 minutes, so.
I think. So I'm Robert Brian Bonner. I live at 21 Snow Road, and I'd like to talk to you about the 14 Snow Road project. So for 35 years ago, I came to this town and I bought my house on Snow Road. And before I purchased it, I did research the zoning of the Snow property at the time, because I was concerned that there may be some inappropriate buildings put there or companies or whatever. And now, 35 years later, I'm looking at a project that's inappropriate being placed at that Snow property, the old Snow property at 14 Snow Road. And I was wondering if the board could share with me your rationale for endorsing a 236 unit project on property that's zoned for 30 residential units. Because I believe you signed and created and signed a LIP for this project.
Yeah, I think only 3 members of the current board were part of that.
Mhm.
And I voted no.
I voted no.
Oh, sorry, 4 members.
I was not here.
I know that.
Yeah.
And I'll just also note, I am following the project. I do go to all the planning board meetings. I've heard you speak at the planning board. And if I'm not there in person, I'm there via Zoom.
Great. I'm glad you're participating. I've been trying to participate as much as possible too.
So I was a select board member that voted in support of the LIP. I don't know if this is necessarily the best forum for going through, during public comment. I mean, all the meeting minutes and the video and, that's all available if you want to see that. But there was a lot of discussion that went on about Snow Road. So from a super high level standpoint, my support was based on the affordable housing component of it. And I believe that Grafton needs some more dense housing in certain areas. And this was represented an opportunity for that. So it was a sort of not a unanimous vote from the select board, as other members have mentioned. But so I don't know if tonight's meeting is necessarily the best place for me to go through all of my rationale and to have a back and forth with you. So I'll just leave it at that. And
Okay.
I respect your participation with the select board, and I'm glad you came here tonight to voice your concerns. That was a decision that a different select board made several years ago. So I guess I'm just going to leave it at
So the reason I'm here is that the zoning board of appeals has appointed members, and this board appoints those members. So I figured I don't have any influence over them. All I can do is state my opinion to them. They listen respectfully, and then they go to they discuss details of the project with the applicant as if it's a done deal if the applicant responds favorably to the board to their suggestions and their questions. And so I figured I'd go to the next layer up, which is the select board. And, I do have a little bit more leverage with you since you are elected officials. I can choose to elect or vote or not vote for you people again. So I wanted to encourage you to, if it's within your purview, if you can advocate for the neighborhood of Snow Road to the Zoning Board of Appeals, because you do have some authority over them, as at least to appoint them. I don't know if you can remove them. I don't know how often they come up for reappointment. I would certainly welcome any influence that you can provide for the neighborhood of Snow Road. I want to give you a few statistics. I drove around Snow Road, all the roads off of Snow Road from 122, 140, all the way to East Street. And I included the Maxwell Drive apartments. And there are 169 existing units in that neighborhood. And this project is going to put 286 units. I'm sorry, it's gonna put 236 units there, which is double of the 169 that's there now, plus another 67. And I can't imagine that this isn't gonna have some adverse effect on the neighborhood. You're putting a very large residential apartment buildings in between single-family houses. And I guess I'm a little bit concerned that a project like this is being encouraged, and the bylaws that have been in place for so long are just being ignored. I don't understand why the current zoning bylaws are not being enforced. It seems like this project is getting more weight than the current laws that are in place, and it seems backwards to me. I shouldn't have to justify the bylaws that have been in place for 35 years. I feel uncomfortable that somebody is coming in and asking for numerous and exorbitant, in my opinion, waivers to these bylaws. And the laws that are in place should be enforced. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how people in your positions can just ignore the laws that are on the books and let the zoning board of appeals just waive the laws and say, okay, it's all right to put these buildings that are too tall and these buildings that are too dense in a neighborhood that is going to be adversely affected by it. And I feel that the zoning board of appeals is leveraging their influence on this applicant to make capital improvements to Snow Road, and they're going to approve this monstrosity of buildings that's probably not going to affect me a whole lot, but there are a lot of other neighbors in Suzanne Terrace that these buildings are going to tower over. And it appalls me that we're not enforcing our own laws here. This just drives me nuts. So anything that you can do is appreciated. I hope you would help advocate to the board of the zoning board of appeals that this should not be this project should not go forward. It shouldn't be, they shouldn't waive the bylaws in this case. And the only other thing that I'll mention as Ms. Foley probably knows is you probably will never see a sidewalk from that project going down to CVS on its side of the road. They're talking about crossing the road twice in order to go over the Maxwell Drive sidewalk and then walk down and then cross the road again, because they don't want to put a sidewalk in because of some retaining walls on some properties. So the things that they've promised you, you're probably not going to see as far as sidewalks go. And I doubt they're probably going to run any sidewalks up to Christmas Tree Lane either, because people along that side of the road haven't responded to them. And I'm just I'm just appalled that that the laws in this case aren't being enforced.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
So I like to comment on that. So just the lip, this was a lip, right? So does that, is that a type of 40B? All right, so, and this is one of my issues too, is when a 40B project, one of the rules on a 40B is they don't have to, no local zoning applies, right?
Correct.
So they can go and so, like, I'm not against affordable housing, but we have zones that the town has voted for to put this type of housing. But they can go and throw the 40B flag up and they can put it anywhere in town and local zoning doesn't apply. The Pleasant Street is
And it
another
doesn't-
example. That's gonna be another horrific project because it's on a windy road with, single family homes and they're gonna plunk, apartment buildings down there. So that's the whole thing. So to answer your question, I haven't been to any of the meetings, but they're exempt from local zoning. The only thing that applies to them
They
is
declared safe harbor. And I asked the zoning board of appeals, is the town obligated in any way to the applicant because of the lip? And they said, no, they go through this process of the 40B and whatever. And I asked it because the zoning board of appeals invoked safe harbor, is the town obligated to the applicant for anything? And they said, no, just enough, just to allow them to have hearings and so forth. But the way the ZBA is positioning themselves and talking to the applicant and talking to the residents, it sounds like this is a done deal as long as the applicant does what the ZBA is asking them to do.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna step in just because we have, definitely gone over the usual allotted time, and we don't tend to have a lot of back and forth with this. And you're 100% right that we appoint, and if you take issue with the appointments that we've made to the ZBA, you're certainly within your right to share that disappointment. To Mr. Dauphinet's point, yes, there is a certain degree of zoning that they get to override, and at past ZBA hearings that they've made that apparent that by the time a job gets to them, you have to anticipate that it is going to go through. Their job is to, essentially make it as palatable to the local area and apply as much of that local zoning as they're still able to. At this point, there's no influence that the select board can exert over the ZBA in this process. We can each go in there as residents and advocate, for whatever we feel is best. But there's really no action that we can take, and unfortunately, my best advice would be to continue to share these concerns with the ZBA and continue to raise them as often as you can, because right now, the ball is in their court. It will be their decision.
But it sounds like because they declared safe harbor, then their hands aren't tied. The town's hands aren't tied. They've invoked the safe harbor, so that means that the applicant can't impose the project on the town without.
Yeah.
I believe we have more leeway when we're in safe harbor to outright deny projects and whatnot, that we don't have to go through the hearing process. But I think this one may be a little bit different because part of that lip, that friendly 40B, as we call them, was entered into right around the time that we went into safe harbor. So they essentially had an agreement with the board and this board and the town, or the former makeup of this board and the town, to move that project through to the ZBA at that point.
Yeah, but I see your point.
I'm
With
still disappointed.
236 homes on that 14 acres is horrific. And I don't know, I said this to Evan, we are a one road in, one road out town. Every road that enters and leaves this town is a 1-lane road. And for us to be able to handle this type of density, this type of population, it's gonna destroy the place.
And I'm all for affordable housing. I just think it should be built where it's appropriately zoned. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Allotting my time.
That little.
Okay.
Fine.
We have no meeting minutes to approve, so I can take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any we don't discuss it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.